Welcome, guys, to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien, and today's live stream, you know what we normally do. We talk about Bitcoin. I do see we have a request that came in from DZ asking about THQ. I see you, DZ. We'll make that one the first request to take a look at. And I also got a few guys here on my TikTok. I'm doing both a TikTok and a YouTube live stream here. And I see someone here is also requesting XRP. So let me go ahead and write these things down here. I'll try to do a summary analysis here on Bitcoin, because I know some of you guys like to see that. Start off with that first, and then I'll try to give you my thoughts here on THQ and XRP, and then we'll just go along with the requests as they come in here. Some guy here says, "Don't long crypto." Yeah, we're gonna talk about how I'm bearish on the cryptocurrency market and Bitcoin right now. Let's see. Mike says, yes, Bitcoin is going down, you think? Yeah, there's a problem that Bitcoin is doing right now. Let's get into the 1 hour time frame. We see that Bitcoin's currently trading at $67,526. Don't mind the moving averages. I'll go ahead and get rid of them for now. But on the 1 hour time frame, Bitcoin's making lower highs here, okay? Which is discouraging the bulls and the longs from long in Bitcoin, because we did see a high here, the highest high here at 72,200 here on Sunday night, and since then it's been lower high, and now we're making some lower lows and lower high, another possible lower high here. And if we're gonna make lower highs and be on our way down to lower lows here, I actually want to short Bitcoin right now, and take it down to this 63K level that I've been paying attention to, only because it's a level on the VRVP indicator. It's also a level that we kind of traded sideways for a little bit here. I know we did go to 60K, last Thursday, right? Was it Thursday? Thursday night, yeah. We did go down to 60K, but 63K is an area where there could be some support for Bitcoin. If I zoom out to the weekly time frame here, and I turn on my VRVP indicator here, the visual range volume profile indicator, you will see, as I start to zoom out here, you will see that there is a little bit of support. There's some high volume nodes here at 63K. There's also high volume here at 67K. That's kind of like where we're chilling out right now, okay? But further to the downside, if we break below 63K, there's not really that much support. Maybe 60K might come into play here again. But there's really not that much support until we come down to 52K, okay? Which I think is where Bitcoin's going to head to next if 60K start to disappear on us. We'll start seeing 52K, which is a little bit of volume here. We had some sideways trading action here back in February of 2024. So that's why I think we might have a little bit of support there, but it's very little. It's not that much support, to be honest with you. We have even more support down here at 43K, which is a level that I think we might hit later on this year. That could actually be the bear market low for Bitcoin. I'm not going to say any more doomsday targets below that, because I know that some people will have said like 30K or 20K all over again. And yeah, there is support here at 30K, and also 37K is another idea as well. But I think initially, if we're not going to hold that 63K, we'll probably come down to 51K, and then come down to 43K if 51 doesn't hold. Okay, So those are the levels I'm looking to the downside. I'm not really giving you upside targets. It would be nice if Bitcoin would just start climbing up. But I mean, look what we've done so far on the weekly time frame here. It's been one red week candle after another red week, after another red week, after another red week. Like, can the Bitcoin cryptocurrency investors catch a break? It doesn't look like they're getting it. Okay. Let me go ahead and get rid of the VRVP indicator right now. But you can see it, you know, every week has been bad since the middle of January, right? Last week of January, or second last week of January, we went down 7%. Then we went down another 11% after that for the last week of January. Then we went down another 8% for the first week of February. Here we are on the second week of February, and we're down 3.7%. Could it be another nasty red candle where we go down, you know, 8%? Could we end up seeing Bitcoin coming down to low 60s? I think so, from what I'm seeing here. Let me check to see what you guys say in the chat. Edible Zombie says Bitcoin is the beta, XRP is the rails. Okay. DZ, I got you on THQ. It's going to be one of the first things we look at after Bitcoin here. And then Edible Zombie says, you know I'm going to ask XRP. Yep, we are going to look at XRP. We have another guy here on TikTok that asked for XRP as well. Let me just come back on the TikTok chat, see what you guys are saying here. Let's see. Satoshi Nakamoto's in the TikTok chat here, saying Bitcoin to the moon real soon. So you guys heard it first from Satoshi, from the from the man himself, the man, the mystery. Satoshi Nakamoto says Bitcoin's gonna go to the moon real soon. Thank you, Avi, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. All right. And Nasir is asking, saying that can Ethereum go to 1725? I'll write that as another request here that you want to take a look at Ethereum. All right, we'll look at that after we look at XRP. Alrighty, moving on from Bitcoin. We can always go back and look at Bitcoin again, but I actually think Bitcoin is looking bearish, and I actually want to get into a short. Let me go to the 15-minute time frame before I exit out of here. I think I'd probably enter a partial position short because I don't know if we're going to come back to 68K. I'd rather get in at 68K. I actually put in an order for like 68,450, and that's because like I think it was like a moving average at that area. But if I go to like the 1 hour time frame here, no, what was it, 15-minute? No, it was a 15-minute time frame. I was looking at, you know, earlier, about an hour ago before I started the live stream, that, you know, we looked like we were marching our way up to this 200 moving average, and I was going to try to take a short there on the 15-minute time frame. That's at 68,490. And I already put a short order ready to go on WEEX. Let me see if I can pull up WEEX right now. But one of my orders here is I'm looking to short Bitcoin. Okay? And I'm looking to do it at 68,450, and my take profit would be at 63,000, and my stop loss would be 68,950. So maybe we push up into that at some point here, but I don't know if we're gonna actually roll over down, you know, right now to lower prices here. Like this could end up being a lower high compared to this high right here, you know, earlier this morning. And then maybe this ends up being like a head and shoulders, maybe, on our way down to lower prices. Let me look at the momentum and see what the momentum is looking like here. On the MACD, on the 15-minute time frame, this looks like selling pressure is about to come in, and we have a MACD crossover to the downside. So I think I'm going to actually add to the short right now. I'll do a little small partial position, maybe throw like $50 a margin with 40x leverage. So let me show you guys how I do that here on WEEX here. All right, so we got Bitcoin perpetual futures here. 40x leverage, and I'm going to try to enter right now. And what am I going to say? Market price, yeah. I'm going to just do about 50 bucks of margin there. That's like 31 right there, so I need a little bit more. About 55 bucks, yeah, that's fine. And oh, I want to do short take profit, and I'm still aiming for 63K because I think that's where we could go next here. And then stop loss is going to be, well, what are we at right now? 67,620. I like to do like $500 above the actual price that I get in at, so maybe like 68,100. I'll lose about $15 if I'm wrong. If I get stopped out, I'll lose about $15. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And I'll make $144 if I'm right. And we do go down to 63A. So I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Boom. I just entered a position for a short on Bitcoin just now. And let's see. Oh, look at that. I'm already in the green. I'm up 1.5% on that 40x short on Bitcoin. All right. All right. So we always look back at that later. Let's get into the requests here. So I feel like, Bitcoin's going to go lower later on tonight. Now that the Bitcoin ETFs are not around to save the market. I feel like Bitcoin ETFs they're done buying for today. I think we could see some selling pressure later on tonight, but we'll see. We'll see how things plan out here. That's just my inclination from what I've seen on the charts here. All right, moving on to THQ, and then we gotta look at XRP after that and Ethereum. And you guys can go ahead and put your requests in now. I'll look back at the chat to see what you guys have for requests here. All right. But right now we're working on THQ, XRP, and Ethereum. Right now THQ is currently trading at just under 3 cents. It's down 5.8%. It's what do we call it? 0.028 pennies here. Let's get into the daily time frame. Unless you want me to look at a smaller time frame, let me know, DZ, if you want to look at smaller time frames here, but I like to see what the bigger picture view is for THQ. And right now, THQ has been in this falling wedge, right? We marked this off on the chart here that it was in a falling wedge, and you kind of did break out to the upside just a little bit, but it's kind of weak. It's not like a V-shaped recovery. I was kind of hoping that it would be a V-shaped recovery, but it looks like it's not. It's just doing sideways trading here. Just above 2.5 cents, in between 2.5 and 3 cents here. So I guess that counts as breaking out to the upside out of your falling wedge there. Okay. But what I'm seeing as a problem for THQ next is, this 21 EMA is going to be a problem here. The 21 exponential moving average. You can see we actually came close to getting up to that 21 EMA, which was sitting at like 0.032 pennies. We got up to 0.0317 pennies on Tuesday. Yesterday on February 10th. And we just couldn't push our way up past that. So the 21 EMA is acting as an issue, as a problem as of now. Okay. Let's see. This is a relatively brand new cryptocurrency, so I don't have any other moving averages to look at. And I think I'm going to get rid of these previous chart work here. The previous Fibonacci's that I drew here. But, what is the momentum? Let's see if we have the momentum to push up the higher prices here on THQ. Let's look at the MACD indicator here. MACD indicator is showing that you had a MACD crossover to the upside here. That happened Monday. Okay. And when you did that, you started seeing green buying pressure candles coming in here. You want to see more green buying pressure candles if you're going to see the price go up. If you start seeing light green come in, that's not good. The price might continue going to higher prices here, but if you can continue getting light green candles like you saw back here on January 29th, then the selling pressure candles are going to start showing up, and you don't want that, right? I'm assuming you don't want that if you're in this for a long or if you're in this as a spot position trying to go up to higher prices here. So you want to see more dark green candles. You want to see increasing buying pressure here on THQ, so be careful with THQ, okay? You're in a good spot, but it could always change, and you might actually see lower prices if you start getting buying pressure dying down here. Looking at the market cipher B indicator here, you got a red sold out that came in today. So there you go. There's your caution. There's your warning right there that there might be something wrong here with THQ. You had a green buy dot here that came in last Friday. Momentum was going up, and money flow was trying to go up as well. But I guess it's just not strong enough here, and you might see lower prices here for THQ. At least looking at the daily time frame here. Edible Zombie says, F the moon, XRP is going to Jupiter. Alright, we are going to look at XRP after this one. But yeah, let's see. Is anything else I can gather from this chart here? Not really. I just, Yeah, this is just unfortunate that you're getting a red candle, and it's also a red bearish engulfing daily candle here, so that's no bueno. And you know what? I think if Bitcoin's going to go to lower prices, which I think it will do later on tonight, going into tomorrow, then yeah, this THQ is probably going to go down to lower prices along with Bitcoin. How much lower? Maybe we can come and do a double bottom here, where we saw this thing go down to 2.5 cents, roughly 2.5 cents on Friday. So maybe you can put a buy limit order in there, and then maybe do a stop loss right below the candlewick low here at 2.5 cents. Well, I say 2.5 cents, but it's 0.0246 pennies. Or maybe you could do that, right? Try to buy here. You might get a second chance to buy at the lowest price you can get. Put your stop loss right underneath there, and if you get stopped out, you're not going to risk too much money, right? Right? If we actually do come down here and make a double bottom, and then bounce off, right, to higher prices, well, you're not risking too much by putting your stop loss like somewhere around here, okay? But the upside would be great. Definitely would be some good upside here, where you could probably buy at 2.5 cents, and then maybe sell this when it gets up to the 21 EMA at 0.032 pennies. I'm not sure how much of a percentage gain that is. Let's try to measure that out real quick here. But if you were to buy at like 2.5 pennies, roughly, and try to take it up to the 21 EMA, you'll be up 31% on your investment. And of course, you know, you could try to put your stop loss really tight, where, you know, if you get in at 2.5 cents and you put your stop loss at like 0.023, you're risking 6% to try and get 30%. So I think that'd be a good area to try to take a shot. See if you might create this double bottom, maybe. It's an idea, but we shall see. I see MMA Esquire's in the chat. Good to see you, MMA Esquire. How's the kids doing today? Hopefully none of them got sick, and none of them are, you know, causing you to pull your hair out. But yeah, good to see you in the chat here, MMA Esquire. All right, we're gonna move on from THQ over to XRP, and then we got Ethereum coming up. And let me just check to see if there's any requests that came in after Ethereum here. Nasir says it makes a bullish divergence. The higher time frame is controlled by the sharks. Bulls versus Bear says you would suggest waiting until Friday to get in any trades. I think that kind of makes sense, because I think Friday we have CPI inflation data, and there might be some volatility on that Friday. But if you're trying to avoid volatility, I can understand why you would want to wait till Friday to take a trade. I totally get that. But I mean, we could make some scalp trades here, where we could you know, if Bitcoin's going to drop down in price right now, we could try to short it right now and make some money. All right, let's see. Albert Finance Crypto Club is coming in here. All right, Albert Finance, I'm going to mute you because you're over here trying to advertise, and yeah. Don't be spamming my channel with your advertisements here. I'm going to have to mute you for now. All right. Let's see. So you've been muted now, Albert. Don't be doing that here on my channel. Spamming. All right, Kems, thank you for following me here on TikTok. Anthony Jacobs says XRP is going to go to 50 cents. Yeah, that's an idea. I have spotted that price before on the charts here. Volvo says, where's stop loss on Bitcoin? We just looked at Bitcoin. I'm actually looking for a short on Bitcoin right now. Kite Mickey says, take profit 61,600 for a short on Bitcoin. Yeah, 61,000 is another idea for you know, shorting Bitcoin, but I think 63K, there might be some more support there. And I'm not sure if it's going to go to 61K right away. We might get a bounce off of 63K. All right, moving on to XRP analysis here on the daily time frame. We're looking at XRP currently trading at $1.37, down 1.98% today. XRP kind of looks similar to Bitcoin, and you know, we had, you know, this bounce off the $1.11 area here on Friday for XRP. And then it's just been weak sauce. It's like, all right, we had this violent sell-off with a violent buy, you know, not a bullish engulfing candle, but a very bullish green candle here. And then it's just been weak sauce after that. It's like, you know, if I could just take an eraser and just erase this, it's almost as if like this didn't mean anything and we're still in a downtrend for XRP. I think if I went back to Bitcoin, Bitcoin shows the same thing on the daily time frame, right? Yeah, we're still in the downtrend on Bitcoin. Like none of like pretend like, you know, Thursday and Friday didn't happen, and we're still in the downtrend. Okay. Same thing for XRP. XRP looks the same thing. Looks the same way. If XRP was to get out of this downtrend, it would need to get above this 21 EMA sitting at $1.64. That could be a target for anybody that's trying to long XRP, but I mean, I don't know. It looks like we're kind of in a downtrend in a descending channel. Let me go ahead and draw the descending channel here. But it just looks like XRP is kind of doing this, right? A descending channel. And we're kind of like hanging out near the, what do they call it? Oh my god, I can't even think of off the top of my head. The heart line. We're in the heart line of the channel here, right? Just the middle of the channel. And XRP could cast some bids here and go to the top of the channel. But if it does go to the top of the channel, that's when you should try to look for shorts here on XRP. So like right now, the top of the channel is like near $1.45, $1.48. Somewhere in that area is where I would try to look for shorts on XRP. And if we're going to stay in this channel, this downward channel here, then I would try to take profit on the short near the bottom of the channel, and that's sitting at like $1.17, somewhere in that area. And then we'll see if, like, you know, maybe you might be able to take profit again on your short at like $1.11, $1.12, and that was like the lowest price you could have got, you know, XRP about, you know, back in last Friday. But that might be a good area to take profit on your shorts, is like $1.11, $1.12. Okay, so yeah, we shall see how this plays out. We're looking at the daily candles here, but I can see that we are in a descending channel here for XRP. That's how I would plot this thing out. And it looks like, you know, if we continue on this descending channel, we just stay on the heart line and not actually go to the bottom of the channel, it looks like we'll revisit $1.11 probably around February 19th. Mark down in the chart. So like a week from now, we might see $1.11, $1.12 here for XRP. That's what I see on the charts here. I don't know. You guys tell me if you see anything differently here. But you know, we're gonna play this as a descending channel until it does something different here. Okay. But there was a guy here that said, you know, 50 cents was an idea here for XRP, and 50 cents is basically where XRP was trading at before Donald Trump got elected into office. Let's see, around like November 2nd of 2024, XRP was at 50 cents, right around here. And then Donald Trump got elected, and then XRP shot up because that was the narrative back then was, you know, XRP is probably not going to get sued anymore by the federal government of the United States, and their lawsuit is probably going to get, the lawsuit that was pending was going to get dismissed, and it did. So that was really beneficial for XRP after Donald Trump and the Trump administration came into power here. But then since then, it's like, all right, well, what is the next narrative for XRP besides, you know, they're not getting sued anymore? Well, there was like the stablecoin bill, right? I think that happened in the middle of, the middle of 2025, where we saw, you know, XRP get as high as like 366. But then after that, it's like, all right, what else is next for XRP? Not really. There wasn't really much. So we kept making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and now we're definitely making lower highs right now on XRP. So, you know, XRP needs something else besides, you know, we're not getting sued to push the price up on XRP. All right, Edible Zombie says, if not XRP, then ZRO. Is that another request for ZRO? I could put that down if that's what you want me to do. Edible Zombies. CTL says, what brokers do I use? I use a few cryptocurrency exchanges, and I also use a stock broker as well. So, you know, the cryptocurrency exchanges that I'm using right now, if you go to the link tree for Meet Damien link tree here, I do have WEEX exchange and MEXC, a couple exchanges that I use to trade on. Okay, for crypto. I also trade on Coinbase as well. Kraken. There's a few of them out there. And stockbroker, I use Charles Schwab. I didn't choose Charles Schwab. My stock, the broker that I had before got bought out by Charles Schwab. I was using TD Ameritrade, and then TD Ameritrade got bought out by Charles Schwab, and then I became a Charles Schwab customer or client, whatever you want to call it. What are my thoughts about Robinhood? I think Robinhood is good. You know, it's trendy. The millennials and the Gen Z, they like using it. I don't have anything bad to say about Robinhood. I actually have a Robinhood account. I just haven't really put money into it because I already have another account. Thank you, Kite Mickey, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. And guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Let's go ahead and try to get the likes up here. Let's see, for YouTube, we should have the same amount of people that are watching the channel right now. If you guys all click the like button, we should have as many likes as we have people watching right now. All right, moving on from XRP. I mean, what I kind of gave you downside targets. $1.11 could be a possibility here for XRP. One more time, we could head down. If we lose $1.11, then I think XRP is going to head to 69 cents. And I got that information from the VRVP indicator. But yeah, I think $1.11 for now to the downside, and then maybe XRP could get up to $1.64 before it gets rejected off this 21 EMA. All right, moving on from XRP, we'll take a look at Ethereum. And we see Ethereum currently trading at $1,952, down 3.4%. And the Ethereum chart looks just like the XRP chart, which also looks like the Bitcoin chart. So they all look the same here, for the most part. You know, just we drop down. We're creating like this little limpy, whatever you want to call it, limp noodle, bear flag, possibly. You know, like I really think this is throwing people off, but we're still in the downtrend. We're still in the downtrend on crypto for Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. And I think you could probably do the same thing with Ethereum and just draw out that parallel channel that I did with XRP. Let's see, Ethereum's parallel channel kind of looks like this. And I'll just extend this out a little bit. So targets to the downside, you know, I did mark off 1822 is a downside target for Ethereum. That would put you towards the bottom of this parallel channel that we're in. It would also show possibly maybe a double bottom being formed here at the $1,800 level. As you can see, like right here at $1,800, we had a candle close at 1823 here, and then we had a candle open at 1823 here. So I think 1822.23 is a very important level to pay attention to here for Ethereum. Okay, it's the level that Ethereum was trading at back here in April of 2025. We were trading at $1,800, going sideways for a few days there, a couple of weeks actually, before Ethereum just took off, caught the bids here in May of 2025. So whoever bought here at 1800, they're in profit right now. But if we do go to 1800, they're just at break even, and they're not going to click the sell button, because if they've been in it for like almost a year now, then why would they click the sell button? It's not until they actually see Ethereum go below $1,800, maybe down to like 1650, which is another area to look for. Maybe they start to panic sell and they get out when they see negative numbers on their crypto portfolio. But I think $1,800 is a good support area for XRP. I'm going to go ahead and throw the VRVP indicator here so you can see the levels to look for. You see, like, yeah, we got a point of control at 1822, 1800, somewhere around that area. High volume node here on Ethereum. And then, of course, I marked out 1650 because there's a little bit of high volume here. And we got some candle body closes at 1650 here. So I think that's an important level to pay attention to for Ethereum to the downside, where you maybe get some cheaper Ethereum. Like right now, it kind of seems like it's cheaper. You definitely could get some cheaper Ethereum if you want to wait till 1800 or 1650 here. And then we got the god-awful level, the doomsday target of like $1,200 is a level that I think Ethereum could come down to. Because if I go into the weekly chart and I zoom out some more and I get this VRVP data showing up here, yeah, there's a high volume node here at 1200. I mean, there's also some here at 1293 and 1300, but yeah, lowest level out of this volume node here is at like 1212, $1,200 Ethereum. That would hurt. But maybe it's not going to hurt for you because maybe you have cash and you want to buy Ethereum as low as you can get it. And I think $1,200 might be like the bear market low for Ethereum, just like $43,000 could be the bear market low for Bitcoin. So those are my doomsday targets for Bitcoin and Ethereum. $43,000 for Bitcoin and $1,200 for Ethereum. Alright, so those are your doomsday targets. Let's move on and take a look at other cryptocurrencies here. We'll take a look at ZRO for edible zombies here. Layer 0. ZRO currently trading at $2.15, up 19% today. So it's actually having a good day while the rest of these cryptocurrencies are like, not really doing much. Kind of disappointing their long-term investors and bulls. ZRO is actually having a good day. Okay, ZRO. And it looks like ZRO actually climbed above the 21 EMA, this white line. Kind of like cradled it, try to use it as support. I mean, yesterday we actually lost it, but then we actually came above and closed above the 21 EMA, so that was good to see here. And now we're launching off the 21 exponential moving average to higher prices here. And looks like you kind of today, did you create a higher high than what you did back here in October? Oh wait, I'm looking at the weekly chart. I'm over here getting all excited here. But yeah, I mean, this is still good. The weekly chart's looking good for layer 0 right now. But yeah, this weekly candle here, you're up at $2.58 was the high for the week. And then let's see, $2.57 was the high back here in October. Oh, just slightly higher high. That's still good to see. Now let me get into the daily chart because I was getting a little bit too excited there on the chart, thinking that it was the daily chart, but it was actually the weekly chart. But this is still relatively good to see here for ZRO. You're above the 200-day moving average. You're above this red line. You're above the 100, the 50, and currently right now you're also above the 21 exponential daily moving average here, this white line. So ZRO doing some things better than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. Okay. What's the deal with ZRO? Because it looks pretty good to me on the charts right now. Taz S asked me, do I trade full time? I do trade just about every day. I do a day trade for the most part. Sometimes I do long-term swing trades, leverage swing trades. Like I'm in a trade here on the price of oil. I've been buying oil contracts on Coinbase exchange. You can do that with Coinbase. And I'm up on that position right now for long-term trades. Recently, I just went on the WEEX exchange to show you guys. I was trying to short Bitcoin just now, and I'm up about 26% on that short that I took earlier in the live stream because I was like, I think Bitcoin's on its way down here, guys. And sure enough, it is. We'll look at the 5-minute time frame, and yeah, Ethereum is down. I mean, I'm sorry. Well, Ethereum probably is down, but Bitcoin is down right now. From where I sold it. I sold it at $67,600. I was trying to sell it at $68,000, but I never got filled. So I was like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna get filled, so I might as well just try to throw my hat in the ring at $67,600. Now I still have the order open for $68,450. If we ever do climb back up to that level, I would like to short some more Bitcoin there. And take that down to 63K for my take profit. Well, I hope that answers your question. Do I trade full time? Like, did I quit my day job to like become a day trader? No. I still have multiple sources of income. I am a landlord. I also rent out cars. So I rent out houses, I rent out cars. And I have this YouTube channel and TikTok channel. And then, yeah, what else? What else do I do? Yeah, pretty much all those things keep me busy for the most part. I got my Discord channel. Like, you guys keep me busy on Discord as well. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. Taz, you just asked me the same question here on TikTok and YouTube. Do I trade full time? I try to trade. You know, when I wake up in the morning, I will look for a trade, and then, you know, I'll try to enter a trade if I can. That's if I'm not already in a trade from like the night before or the day before. But do I trade full time and use it as a source of income to pay my bills? I don't want to do that just yet. Okay, but I probably will do that later on this year. Because I want to make some changes in my life too. Yeah, besides renting out cars and stuff like that. I'm still going to be renting out cars, and I'm still a landlord, right? But as far as like day trading full time, I might do some more day trading. But I feel like I already do it. Like, you do not have to be. Well, I guess watching the charts all day would be considered full-time day trading, but I don't always watch the charts all day. Sometimes I look at it in the morning, get into a trade if I want to, or get out of a trade if I want to, and then I'll look at it again in the afternoon while I'm at the gym, and then I look at it here with you guys on the live stream, and then I look at it again later on tonight. So like, I guess you could say I'm looking at the charts almost as if I'm a full-time trader. But I have to admit, there have been times where I've been trading and I'm like, damn it, had I seen that on the charts instead of being at the gym? Or if I'm like, damn it, had I seen that on the charts instead of like, you know, working on the cars, cleaning out, you know, one of my rental cars that I'm trying to get ready for the next rental. Like, if I just dedicated myself, there would have been times where I would have been able to take profit when I was like, you know, looking good on the profit, or even just closing out a trade before it hits out my stop loss. I think it would have been more beneficial had I been on the charts rather than, you know, doing the other things that I did. Like today, you know, I had a tenant who left and abandoned the apartment. Like, they vacated the apartment. They're no longer there. They left their big screen TV. They left their PlayStation. Like, they left all these valuable things in the apartment that I own. And I had to clean it out today. And move some stuff and yeah, basically cleaning and moving today. And I was still looking at my phone at the meantime while I'm moving like trash bags full of, you know, clothes and stuff like that. And I'm like looking at the charts earlier today, just, you know, as part of my day trading action. But yeah, that's the beautiful part about being a day trader, is that you can actually do other things while being a day trader. But yeah, you kind of have to have your phone on you if you're going to be like not on the computer as a day trader. So yeah, I got the computer, I got the iPad, I got the phone. I'm always like looking at the prices here. Do I share trades on Discord? Crypto with Nat is asking me here. Yes, I do. So let's look at the Discord. First of all, you can come join me on Discord. It's over here on TikTok. If you go on to TikTok, right? Thank you guys for following me here on TikTok. Don't forget to come join the 6,300 followers here on the Meet Damien channel here. But yeah, there's a link here for Discord, but that might be hard for you to do on your phone. If you click on the Linktree site, it will take you over to Linktree, and then you'll see the Meet Damien server here, which is free to join. All right, I don't charge you guys to go on the Meet Damien Discord, and then you click on that, and it should take you to Discord, where you'll see, you know, a few other traders besides myself posting up what we're getting into and what we're looking at. I do post up when I go live here. Post up some other interesting stuff as well. Some people share some memes here. Lately, I've seen here on WEEX Exchange that they have gold and silver trading is free on WEEX, so you might want to check out the WEEX link. But yeah, as far as like sharing trades, we do have a link. We do have a channel here called Trade Setups, and this is where we talk about like trades that we're trying to get into, what our take profit's going to be, what our stop loss is going to be, what our entry is going to be. All right, we share these trades that we're interested in getting into. It looks like someone's talking about Uniswap right now. Okay, and Cameron is over here talking about Uniswap. Yeah, there looks like my trading group is interested in Uniswap right now. But then after you guys get into a trade and you actually make some money, we do have another channel here called the Show Your Gains, where we have various people getting into trades here. We got Taz right here, did a Forex long on Fight, up 43%. Congratulations to Taz. We got Tony here, did a 21x short on Stable, up 360%. Congratulations to you. Yeah, and then they talk about their trades and how things went for them. Cameron up 71% on a 25x long here. Cameron likes to show his trades a lot here. Oh, Cameron only up 2% there. But yeah, we've seen Cameron do some crazy stuff where he'll do a 100x short on Bitcoin and be up 208%. 100x short on Ethereum, up 240%. And yeah, Cameron's actually one of our more experienced traders here. He doesn't mind using a lot of leverage on his trades. I would say if you're new to trading, you should probably do no more than 20x leverage on any trade, and probably stick to like 5 or 10x leverage until you get the hang of it. But you know, you do what you ever need to do. I'm not a financial advisor. You do whatever you want. But I would also suggest, if you're brand new to day trading, to do a demo account and blow up the fake Monopoly money first before you end up blowing up your real account, because that's actually part of the day trading journey. Is most day traders that have done this for a while, they have blown up their first account of real money. So just be careful. And that all comes part of you know, figuring out how much leverage you're gonna use, how much margin you're gonna use, where to put your stop loss, and you know, once you get the hang of it, then you start minimizing your losses, and then you try to maximize your gains. Then there's a little bit of psychological aspect to it, because after you lose, you know, a bunch of times, and you will lose as a day trader, you start playing head games with yourself, and you're thinking that, you know, when you see actual green and you're in profit, you start taking profit earlier than what you should, because you're so afraid to lose. And that's another problem that I see day traders run into. All right, bro, Heyman says, bro, can you check out Owl USD? Yeah, I think I could do that for you. Jojo says Bitcoin's dropping fast. Oh, if it is, that's actually good, because I am in a short on Bitcoin right now. So let's see, what is Bitcoin looking like? 66,900. Ooh, let's take a look at my Bitcoin short real quick here. I'm up 43% on it. That's nice to see. I got in at 67,600 for a short, and Bitcoin's currently trading at 66,800. Nice. Oh, and I can see that. Look at that nasty 5-minute red candle there. Oh yeah, Bitcoin's definitely taking a dip, knocking out all the liquidity that was built here. All the stop losses that people put below this low here are getting taken out right now. So thank you for the update on that. I need to finish up my analysis here for layer 0. Layer 0 on the daily time frame could get support off the 200 moving average at $1.73. That's where you could buy some cheaper layer 0 if you want to. Right now, I can just draw a Fibonacci to figure out what the targets might be to the upside. So we're going to measure from this swing high here down to the swing low. The swing low here and this swing high. And if we are going to, you know, go up to higher prices here, we do got the 786 retracement at $2.33. That could easily happen later on today or tomorrow. Then we could maybe jump up to 256, which is I'm sorry, 259, where we kind of did that already today. But if we're going to go to higher prices here, there is a 1272 Fibonacci at $2.92. And there's the 1618 at $3.35. These are some ideas where you could take some profit on your layer 0 if this thing does climb up to higher prices here. So basically like 290 and 330 are your targets to the upside. Thank you, Jojo, for coming onto the channel, and don't forget to smash that like button. And I appreciate the compliment that you think I'm doing great work here. Thank you. All right, yep, we're gonna now check out Owl for Haman. Owl to finance. We're now looking at Owl trading on the currently on the daily time frame. We're looking at Owl, and it's trading at 0.023 pennies, up 26% today. And wow, so this thing is relatively brand new to MEXC exchange. We're looking at the data coming from MEXC right now. And this thing started trading on January 15th. Got the initial pump up, you know, people get excited for a new coin coming on a cryptocurrency exchange. You got as high as like 12, almost 13 cents here. And then you got the sell-off, right? That's usually how these cryptocurrencies go. They pump up, and then they do a little bit of a dump. And that dump took you all the way down to a half a penny. Yikes. Imagine being the guy that bought here at like 12 cents or, yeah, 12.5 cents roughly, and now you see the thing go down to half a penny. Yikes. Almost like a 95% drop. I want to measure that out real quick. I want to see that, like that drop right there. Going from like 12.128 down to this bottom. Oh my god, like I said, 95% drop. 95% drop in price. So they clearly oversold, and then somebody decided that at a half a penny they were willing to buy this this asset here, and now you got some green candles showing up here with this thing. Oh my god, on this Monday, what, 2 days ago you went up 147%, and then here on Tuesday you went up another 22% after that, and then here we are today up at 26%. The gains could still be crazy enough where this thing might actually push its way up to the 21 EMA before it gets rejected. At 21 EMA is at 0.0389 pennies, and if you did that, let's measure that out real quick. Measure from where we are right now, just to that white line. It'd be up another 67%. There could be another 67% move up to the upside here for Owl 2 Finance. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But let's see. I mean, there's really not much I can do for analyzing a brand new cryptocurrency like Owl 2 Finance. I would have to go into smaller time frames to maybe get some moving averages showing up here. But let me throw in the VRVP indicator real quick. See what that shows for support resistance. Most of your support's going to be below you. A good majority of people actually bought this thing at about a penny. This blue line right here. They bought this at a penny. And right now you're above the value area high and the point of control. So this thing is considered overvalued right now. Yeah. You are overvalued. Especially if you keep on climbing up, you'll be even more overvalued here. Until we start building more volume at the current price range that we're at. Once we get more people buying here at 2 cents, then this VRVP indicator is going to adjust itself. But right now, it's like, you know, showing that the value high is at 0.023 pennies. That's kind of like where you're at right now. And yeah, I mean, this, you could use this value high as support, and you might end up flagging out, consolidating here, or you might actually try to make a run to that white line there, the 21 EMA, sitting at 0.0389 pennies. So I think that should be your target, right, for now. If I could just draw a horizontal line. You want to target this white line here at 0.038 pennies. And that's an idea, because like remember, this white line is coming down. So tomorrow, the white line is going to come down some more, and it might be at like 3.5 pennies. And maybe 3.5 pennies has to be your target to the upside. So pay attention to this 21 EMA. And I think that's where you're going to get your first resistance, your first rejection. But right now this thing is climbing up, ready to go to higher prices, it looks like it. Let's go into the 1 hour time frame. If we were day trading this, what does it look like on the 1 hour time frame? Yeah, it's up and to the right, up and to the right. Bull flag galore. You might come back down to this value area high sitting at 0.017 pennies here. That's an idea for support because you got sideways trading in this zone. This is where I would try to look to try to scoop up a long if it does drop down to that area for whatever reason. But let's look at the momentum indicator, see what that looks like here. Momentum MACD. Ooh, interesting. So MACD crossover to the downside on a 1 hour time frame. You got selling pressure showing up here. But recently you had a light pink candle, so it looks like selling pressure could start dying down if this thing starts, climbing up in price again. That would for sure get rid of the selling pressure here on the 1 hour time frame. But this is I would be cautious because you already got this thing could come down to lower prices later on tonight, going into tomorrow. I mean, look at this, what is dead. Like if you just correlate this, you see the buying pressure die down, going into selling pressure. Look, they're making lower highs, lower lows here. So it's showing that the price action is to the downside for now. But look what happened here. 21 EMA on the 1 hour time frame. It's acting as support for now. We came down to it, bouncing off of it, tested it one more time, and now we're coming up. So maybe we do start climbing up to higher prices. See, I can't really tell you one way or the other here. It's a possibility that we could climb up to higher prices. However, there's also another possibility that we could go down to lower prices because I'm not getting any clear signals here with the MACD. It could pretty much go either way. That's what I'm looking at. And then let's see, market cipher B. So market cipher B kind of tells us a better story here, where the momentum is to the downside, money flow is to the downside as well, going down, and money flow is now in the negative, in the red here. But I mean, if money starts pouring back in, you can see the money flow turn back green again on the 1 hour time frame, and then you could get a green buy dot here at some point, and it could be like, all right, now is actually a good time to get back into a long on owl here. So we shall see. We shall see. But I think, yeah, you could try to, if you're day trading this, you could try to long and put your stop loss below the candle wick lows here. Keep it really tight if you want to. Just know that they could come in, stop you out, and then try to send this thing up to higher prices. So maybe you could try to long now, but put your stop loss maybe like down here if you want to. Keep it really conservative and stay in the trade. All right, let's see. Thank you, Papa Tiger, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. And thank you, Crypto with Nat, for sending me those gifts there. I appreciate that. Nabil did ask, do you think next week Bitcoin will hit 80K? Not the way it's trending downward. We'll take a look at Bitcoin one more time here. Thank you, Jojo, for hitting smashing that like button. Appreciate that. All right. Let's go into Bitcoin one more time here. You currently see that Bitcoin is trading at $66,943. You asking me, do I see Bitcoin going to higher prices, going up to 80K, what, for next week? In order to get back up to 80K, you have to get up to here on Bitcoin, right? Kind of like right where this 21 EMA. I think if Bitcoin was to, like, I don't know, just yeet up to higher prices right now, you're going to get rejected off the 21 EMA. The 21 EMA usually does act like a problem before it's no longer a problem. And I think, yeah, 78K might be where Bitcoin ends up going up to. And you can see that you got a little bit of sideways price action here at 78K. Here on Sunday, February 1st, and Monday, February 2nd. You can see the candle body opening at 78K. And then you had a candle body close here on this green candle at like 78K, 78,000 and a half. So I think if we were to come up here, think about it. Like whoever bought here thinking that they were buying the dip, with Bitcoin at 78K. They're like, oh yeah, Bitcoin below 80K. I'm gonna buy Bitcoin below 80K, and then Bitcoin just continues dropping down on them. They're like, holy crap, I thought I was buying the bottom on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does come up to like 78K, I think the people that bought here at 78K are gonna be like, Oh no, no, no! I don't want any more pain. I am out of Bitcoin. It was just a short-term trade or a swing trade. I wasn't trying to be in this for the long term. And whoever's not in it for the long term here, they're gonna sell when Bitcoin gets back to 78K again. So I don't think 80K quite exactly, but maybe 78K is where Bitcoin could go up to if we're gonna be bullish. But are we gonna be bullish? Let's look at the momentum indicators here on the daily time frame. MACD, selling pressure is dying down. Okay, that's a good thing to see. But I want to see selling pressure die down, and I want to see buying pressure start showing up. I want to see the buying pressure, green candles like we saw back here in January. Remember when Bitcoin climbed up to like 97K? You need green buying pressure candles to do that, to push yourself up to higher pressure. What could end up happening here, and I don't want to be too bearish, but what could end up happening here is selling pressure could die down and then start increasing again. Kind of like you saw here towards the end of January, where selling pressure was starting to die down, and then it started increasing again. All right, so the MACD indicator is not an end-all, be-all indicator, and things could change, and you could get fake outs, and you can see selling pressure start increasing again after it was starting to die off. You can see it increase again, so we got to be careful with that. Market cipher B on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. What is that showing? Well, first things first, you got a red sell dot that says you need to sell Bitcoin right now, today. That was your warning signal. Okay, last time you had your warning signal was Thursday, January 26th, before Bitcoin did a dump down to 60K. That was your warning signal on January 29th to get out of Bitcoin. You did get a green buy dots signal here on Friday, last Friday. But look, it didn't last too long before you got a red sell dot showing up one more time here. So let's see. Let's look at the charts here. You know, January 29th was your last warning signal to sell Bitcoin. Had you done that, you would have sold your Bitcoin at 84K. Right? This red sell dot right here corresponds to this red candle here, where Bitcoin was as high as at 89K, but then it ended the day at 84K, and you would have been able to get out at 84K had you listened to this red sell dot. And if you didn't listen to the red sell dot, well, look what happened. You got a red candle here, another red candle, another red day. Oh, one green day in between, another red day, and then this vicious, nasty candle here on Thursday, where Bitcoin dropped almost 14% in one day. Right? Wouldn't it have been nice if you could have had a signal here to tell you to get the hell out of Bitcoin? Well, you got that with the market cipher B indicator. It told you on Thursday, January 29th to get the hell out of Bitcoin. You had a red sell dot here on the daily time frame. Okay? So, this is not good to see. You got a red sell dot that came in today. Alright? The only way this could get canceled out is if Bitcoin really just jumps up to like 75K right now. I think that's a lot to ask for. Maybe if, maybe tomorrow, if Bitcoin jumps up to like 72, 73K, you might get a green buy dot that shows up that cancels this red dot. But you already got your warning to get out of Bitcoin right now on the daily time frame here with market cipher B. And money flow. Look at money flow. Money flow's just been in the negative. It's been in the negative since the end of January. And money flow has just been continuously negative all throughout, February here. The only thing that would make me feel better about Bitcoin is if I saw the money flow start, going back up again, where you get a little bit of a curve up on the red. And you're not getting that right now, okay? Last time you had a little red curve to the upside here was like the end of December going into January. You got the money flow coming in and the buying pressure coming in. And that was when you saw Bitcoin go up to higher prices here. This is not good. This is no bueno. Okay, so this is why I'm actually very bearish on Bitcoin right now. This is why I think Bitcoin could go into 50Ks. It could go into the 50K area. The way things are looking on the charts right now. I gotta restart the music. Music kind of like dying off on me. I think it was only like a 1 hour music here. Yeah. We got the music back up and running again. All right. Let's see. We got Test DNA came in, says good look at MicroStrategy, and you said that's your best indicator. Meringue says Bitcoin 64K. I think it's gonna head down there. It could happen there later on tonight, going into tomorrow. We could see 64K. So I was looking at Bitcoin in the daily time frame. Let's see what Bitcoin looks like on the 4-hour and the 1-hour. On the 4-hour, you can see Bitcoin low highs, lower highs. Of course, we saw, you know, last Thursday the lowest low. Then we came up and we made a high here at 72K on Sunday. But I mean, this is, you know, trending downward here, and the 21 EMA is a problem here on the 4-hour time frame. Let's look at the momentum indicators here. Market cipher B, you got a red sell dot here on the 4-hour time frame. That's not good. Money flow is still in the negative here. Looking at the MACD on the 4-hour time frame, you had buying pressure on Monday, and now Tuesday going into Wednesday, you got selling pressure showing up here. That's not good. All right. Now let's look at the 1-hour time frame. Probably going to show the same thing, or maybe worse. 1-hour time frame, you got a red sell dot about an hour ago at 6 p.m. Eastern time here. Okay. You do have some money flow that came in over the last couple hours, but don't be surprised if this turns negative again. Kind of like you had like a little bit of money flow here on Tuesday night, only for it to then go red on you towards like the early morning hours of Wednesday here. So could be a repeat of yesterday. We could get the same exact thing as we did last night. And then here on the MACD, yeah, you had some buying pressure that showed up here earlier this afternoon here for Bitcoin. But now the buying pressure is dying down. Interesting enough, Bitcoin's back at 67K right now. Okay. So I just think we could see lower prices here later on tonight. That's why I went into a short. But if Bitcoin's going to keep climbing back up, if it climbs back up to my break even, I might just double down on my short. Right now, I am in a Bitcoin short. Up 36% right now. I got in at $67,600. If we climb back up to $67,600, I'll add some more margin. I only put like $52 of margin in this trade, but I'll probably add some more margin if we actually climb up some more here. Izza says liquidation heat map a little too juicy at 66K. All right, let's see what you're talking about here. If I go on to a liquidation heat map for Bitcoin, this is a website called CoinGlass. This is where we get the liquidation heat map. This is taking all the liquidity on Binance Exchange and showing us where that liquidity is. And I see a yellow area here at 66K, like we were talking about. Yeah, 66K, $33 million of longs could get liquidated if we go down to 66K. To the upside, at 66,900, which is kind of like right where my stop loss is at for my short. There's about $32 million of shorts. Bears could get liquidated if Bitcoin goes up to 66,900. And then also some more of them could get liquidated at 67,400. Oh, I take that back. I'm actually, no, my liquidation, yeah, no, my short's at 60, what did I say? 67,600? Yeah, 67,600. So I'll probably get liquidated with this block right here. Maybe. A little bit higher than that. But yeah, there's some liquidation to the upside, and there's also some liquidation to the downside for Bitcoin. Let's see. Let's go into the 12-hour time frame. Might be more recent data here. No, I do not want to do that. Oh, so they're not going to let me show the liquidation heat map unless I sign up for CoinGlass. Oh, that sucks. But I do see what you mean there about 66K being a little juicy for some liquidations there. Now, Sarah says HTF. Is that a crypto or a stock that you want me to look at? Oh, high frequency trading? Is that what you're trying to say here? I actually don't know where to find that. Is that on CoinGlass? And you just saw I was on CoinGlass, and they're over here trying to tell me to sign up for and log into this site here. Dark Side wants me to take a look at ICP. And user 947, the website that I'm looking at right now is called CoinGlass. You might want to add that to your bag of tricks here to find out where the liquidation is for Bitcoin. All right, we got to take a look at ICP for Dark Side here. ICP USD. And I can see ICP currently trading at $2.33. Let me go into the daily time frame here. I mean, it kind of looks just like the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP chart, where we had this big, giant, bearish engulfing candle here, followed by a pretty solid green candle, getting us back up to into the area where we're basically, I mean, this is looking just like a downtrend still. Like, you just forget Thursday and Friday happened, and you can just be like, all right, we're still in a downtrend, and we're in like kind of like a descending channel here. Right, we're still in the downtrend descending channel here on ICP. So where could ICP go next? Well, this is the descending channel here, but if we're able to break out to the upside, I would expect a rejection initially off this 21 EMA at $2.85. You can mark that on the chart there. 285 is, I think, where ICP could go before you should click the sell button. Not financial advice, but if I was in it, I would try to click the sell button at 285. If you did that, right, where we are right now to 285, you're going to be up about like 22% roughly. That's a decent gain. I would take profit. But what else can I get from this chart here? ICP, have you been this low? You have. Back here in October 10th, you got as low as like $2.05. I think that's what we did here on Friday, right? We went down to $2. So we actually made a lower low compared to the lows here in October. So I think downside target, you just look at the chart here, look at the candles, $2. Psychological level, $2 is where your downside target is going to be on ICP for now. And an upside target going to be about 285. Let's see, is there a previous low at that point? I see this little hammer candle here. Looks like as the lowest point there was 265. So I think anywhere between 265 285 should be where you should try to take some profit on ICP. Let me turn the VRVP again here, see what that shows. You got some high volume here, relatively high volume here at 265. Yeah, so 265. What did I say? 265 285. Yeah, I think between here and here is where you should take profit. But if you're lucky enough, maybe you actually get to push yourself up to this blue line here at 304. Is the highest volume, and it's your point of control there. Point of control POC. That blue line. I would definitely be taking profit if this thing gets back up to $3 here. All right, you're welcome, Dark Side. Do I think it's good time to buy H-bar now? Well, let's see what H-bar is doing. Couldn't be. It can't be the worst time to buy. All right, it's you're getting near the lows that you saw back here in October of last year when this got as low as like 0.078 pennies, and right now you're at 0.088 pennies. You had a really good day to buy it last Friday when this thing went down to 0.072 pennies. So I think if we do trend down here, what I would suggest, not financial advice. Remember that I'm not a financial advisor. I could never be a financial advisor because I don't have the accreditation for that, and I don't want to be your financial advisor. But what you could do is if this thing does trend down to like 7 cents, right? maybe we make a double bottom. Maybe we start getting the buyers to show up again and push this thing back up. Create a double bottom here at 7 cents. And what you could do, you can game plan this out where you buy at like 7 cents. Well, it's not going to be 7 cents because it was like 0.072 pennies. But once you start seeing like 0.073 and 0.072, you put a buy order in at that area, and your stop loss is going to be maybe, I don't know, you could put it at 7 cents, or you could be like funny with it and put it at 0.69 here, right, for a stop loss, and you're only risking about 6%. But if we do, you know, do a double bottom and we climb up to this 21 EMA, sitting at like 9.5 cents here, your stop loss is going to be 6%. You're risking 6% to try and get 31%. Your risk reward ratio is 5.1. That's a really good trade to get into without using any leverage, without doing day trading. If you're just doing this as like a swing trade, you're going to stay in it for like a week or two, or maybe a month or two. I would try to buy there at 0.073 and then take profit at 9.5 pennies, and you know, stop loss at 0.069 because we're funny like that, because we think we're comedians, and you're only risking 6% to try and get 31%. That's what I would do. SCX says, have I looked at Solana? No, I haven't, but you know, I could look at it if that's what you want me to do. Let's go ahead and take a look at Solana. Alright, we're looking at Solana now. Currently trading at $79.18. Solana was in a potential bear flag that I've, you know, I noticed it could be doing right now, and it looks like we're breaking out of that bear flag right now. Let me get rid of the VRBP indicator, but you know, I measured this like this, right? I was like, all right, Solana came down obviously like this, right? We kind of did like a, well, we bounced up, but it wasn't that, I mean, we didn't get any follow through on the bounce up. We got a red candle here, red candle, another red candle, now another red candle. And if we're breaking out of this potential bear flag, you just take the flagpole on this flag, right? It's an upside down flag. You take this flagpole, you put it to like where we're breaking out of right now at 82 bucks. It takes you down to $57, right? Look at that number, like 57, 56, that blue number. But I also have a red number here at $57. I think this is where Solana could go next, because if I zoom out onto the weekly chart, I gather up all this data going to like October of 2022, and I turn on that VRVP indicator here. This indicator off to the right shows that there's a high volume here at 57 bucks. So I think that's where Solana is going to go. And if you don't know how to do the VRVP indicator, you can just look to your left, and you can see that there's some sideways trading here at like 57, 56 bucks back here in November of 2023. And I think this is where Solana is going to go for support. If it's going to drop down, you're like, oh my god, when are we ever going to stop the bleeding? I think the bleeding will stop around like 57 bucks here initially, but then, you know, we could continue bleeding down some more. And if we do continue bleeding down some more, then there's a $32 target here. You got a high volume node here, roughly at that area. And then you got the highest volume node, the POC, is at $21. That would really suck. But, you know, there will be people that will be interested in buying Solana at 20 bucks, including myself. I'll be one of those people that will buy Solana at 20 bucks. Matt Colburn says, sentiment is all about ranges now. Yeah, we're looking at ranges. We're looking at what could be next here for Bitcoin crypto. I feel like, you know, Bitcoin's not done going down yet. Some people thought they were slick buying Bitcoin at 60K, thinking that if it goes from 60 to 120, they're going to double their money. But I think Bitcoin could go down to like 50K and even 43K. And I'll show that to you guys here in the charts here. I'm the weekly time frame here on Bitcoin. And I already got levels marked here on the chart. But I'll show you why I marked them off with the VRVP indicator here. Just give it a chance to reset itself. But yeah, there's a little bit of high volume, not that much at 51K. 51,900 or 52K, somewhere in that area. It's not really that much. There was like some sideways trading here back in like February of 2024. Okay. However, a more significant level for support would be around 43K. And to me, that kind of makes sense, right? And I'll let you know why I feel like 43K makes sense. 43K, you know, somewhere in that area, 42, 43, 44K, was an area where the Bitcoin ETFs came into fruition. Does anybody remember when the Bitcoin ETFs came in on, you know, January of 2024? Bitcoin was at like 40K. And I think right now, those Bitcoin ETF investors that bought at 40K, they can still sell their Bitcoin right now at 66,900. And that is still selling in profit. It's not until Bitcoin goes down to 40K or 43K is what I marked off here. But like, it's not until Bitcoin gets in this area where they're like, oh my God, well, if we sell Bitcoin now, we're not going to make profit. So they're going to stop selling. And when they stop selling, that takes the bleeding, you know, off the table. It allows buyers to actually push the price back up again. Okay? And just to add to that, the Bitcoin ETF investors, if they see Bitcoin go back to their break even at 40K, they might be like, well, we're not going to sell Bitcoin because it's right where we bought it at. Maybe we could double down and buy some more Bitcoin at 43K. So they might go from selling Bitcoin to actually buying Bitcoin again when it gets to 43K. And then another thing why I think 40K makes sense is because if you buy 40K Bitcoin, well, if Bitcoin goes back to this all-time high of 126K, you basically tripled your money in Bitcoin. And I think it makes a lot of sense. You'll get a lot more people buying Bitcoin at 40K than you will at 60K. Or even 50K. You'll get a lot more people interested in buying Bitcoin at 43K, including myself. Right? I said I would buy Solana at 20 bucks. I would buy Bitcoin at 40K. Maybe I would buy Ethereum at like $1,200. We already looked at that earlier in this live stream. And I would also, I mean, what else? XRP. I would try to buy XRP at 50 cents if it ever gets down there. But I think 69 cents was like the next target to the downside. And of course, 69 cents. Why wouldn't you buy XRP at 69? It's such a great number, right? Chris Holmogren says, I might have messed up your name there, but Chris is asking me about thoughts on Palantir. I'll look at Palantir real quick here. But I was going to try to end this live stream just now on Bitcoin here, but I'll look at Palantir for you real quick. And then Todd Nam says, rookie trading view question. How do you move indicators on trading view? How do I move it? Well, the VRVP indicator is an indicator that moves on itself based on whatever time range I'm using. So if I zoom in to, like, you know, really zoom in, you'll see the VRVP indicator is going to start changing itself here. It readjusts itself. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about here as far as moving indicators, but like if you're talking about, like, you know, these indicators on the bottom, like the RSI and the MACD, you can move it by clicking these arrows here. Like I can click this move pane up and it moves it up. Or I can click move down to send it back down. You can do that by clicking these arrows here. Okay. So I don't know if that answers your question there. All right. We gotta look at Palantir, which is a stock that I'm actually invested in, but I think Palantir has been taking a beating, huh? All right, Palantir. I'm actually curious. You know, I probably should. Usually I buy and you know I hold, and I'll look at this every other week or something like that. But I think it's good for me to check on this right now. See, you know, is the bleeding gonna stop here on Palantir right now? Palantir currently trading at $135.68, down 2.7% today. And I got the VRVP indicator, which I think is still useful here. There's a high volume node, relatively speaking, at $124. You would think that should act as a support area. It is also a candlewick high here back in February. We saw $125 as the high water mark here in February. So I think, you know, 125 should be a support area for Palantir. Let's see, if Palantir starts catching some bids here to the upside, there's a high volume node here at 154, 155 bucks. Could act as resistance initially before Palantir punches through it. Now I'm looking at the weekly chart. Let's look at the daily chart here for Palantir. Oh no, so yeah, this is what I was worried about with Palantir. I actually sold a little bit of my Palantir when I saw some of this price action here. The 200-day moving average. 200-day simple moving average is this red line here. Palantir lost it January 28th. Then you had a couple more bad days here. Then you came up, you retested it, and you, oh my god, you got above the 200-day moving average, but you couldn't actually stay above it. You closed below the 200-day moving average here on February 3rd, and then that was like kind of like a death sentence. That was the confirmation that the bears needed to see to enter more shorts and sell more of their stock here. So this is not good for Palantir, that to be below the 200-day moving average and also get a back test and a rejection. So I'm not liking what I'm seeing there with Palantir, to be honest with you. And it's a shame because this was like one of the best stocks to be in last year. That and Nvidia, the AI stocks, they were kicking butt up until recently. You had a top here. Your highest high here was 207 on November 3rd, and then you made a lower high here at $198 on December 22nd, and that was like another warning to get out of the stock when you saw that lower high being formed. Okay, and then you lost the 50-day, the 100. You back tested the 100 too and rejected it. And then you lost the 200. Oh no. What's the momentum looking like for Palantir? Momentum on the daily time frame. Yeah, you don't have the buying pressure that you did like you did back here in December. And then selling pressure came in January. Died off, came back in again. Died off, came back in again. Dying off, and I'm worried that selling pressure is just going to start increasing again. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but like, we've seen like the trend where, it dies off and then, it increases and then it dies off and then it increases and it dies off, and we're not really getting buying pressure here on Palantir, so I'm worried. But if we still see the trend going up where, the price actually does go up here, then you'll start seeing you'll see a MACD crossover to the upside, and then you'll see buying pressure showing up, and that would be good to see here for Palantir. But I'm worried that we're going to do the same thing that we did here in the middle of January, where the selling pressure dies down, and then it starts increasing again. Alright, so that's my analysis here on Palantir. I think 125 we said was like where we could get some support. And then, well, I have to pull up the VRVP indicator again one more time, but like, alright, yeah, 155, 156 is where we could get some resistance, and that's like right near the 200-day moving average at 160. So I think 155 to 160 is where you should try to de-risk and sell some Palantir stock, because you might get another rejection off that 200-day moving average. Charlie is asking me, do I think Bitcoin is going down to $50,000? I think it will. On its way down to $43,000 is where I think the bear market low might be for Bitcoin. But it could go lower than 43K too. But I think, yeah, I think we will see 50K this year. And I think we will see 43K as well. So, look out below. Bitcoin's coming for you guys. It's coming. Wow, okay, Bitcoin's actually climbing up a little bit today. Well, a little bit since I've been on this live stream. Let me just go back to Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. And I'm going to try to game plan things out here for you guys to see if Bitcoin's actually going to climb up or not. Are we going to go up tonight or are we going to go down? Alright, so 1 hour time frame. I know some pattern traders might be like, oh, this looks like an inverse head and shoulder pattern. And that would be bullish if it is an inverse head and shoulder pattern, because that usually plays out to the upside. We're seeing that on the 1 hour time frame. Bitcoin right now is trying to get support off the 21 EMA on the 1 hour. That's sitting at $67,000. We're like right on the button with that. But do we get the momentum to continue going to higher prices here? This is what I'm worried about with the MACD on the 1 hour time frame. Buying pressure is dying down on Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame. And then market cipher B, you did get a red sell dot here at 6 o'clock. However, we did climb up a little bit, so money flow is showing that a little bit of a climb here. So it's being stubborn right now. It's being stubborn right now. I think the bulls are still trying to show up and try to push the price up here, but I think it's just not enough. Not enough bulls, not enough buying pressure here. 50-minute time frame for Bitcoin. Market cipher B is showing that money flow is in the negative on the 50-minute time frame. You got a red sell dot here at 4:45 p.m. Eastern time, and yeah, money flow going down. Momentum's to the downside, so that's not good. And then here on the MACD, we got a MACD crossover to the downside right when I started the live stream about a couple hours ago. And yeah, sure enough, you got selling pressure showing up here. Now, selling pressure is trying to die off on the 50-minute time frame. You got this light pink candle here. But, I mean, how much more time do we got left on this 15-minute candle? We got 10 more minutes left. If, you know, if we continue climbing up to higher prices, you'll see a light pink candle for sure. And then, you know, you'll see maybe another light pink candle after that if the selling pressure is going to die down. But I've also seen here where selling pressure starts dying down, right? You know, selling pressure dies down, and then you get selling pressure increasing again. So, you know, it's not an end-all, be-all indicator. It kind of gives you a little bit of a trend. I like looking at these indicators because I am like a momentum trader, and I try to buy the lowest point that I can, get in at the low, and then try to ride the trend up to higher prices when I do my my day trading. So I do like using the MACD indicator for that. Right now, yeah, there's a possibility that Bitcoin could go up to higher prices in the next hour or two, but I don't know. It might just end up being weak, and we might get rejected off these moving averages here. Maybe make a lower high, and then on the 50-minute time frame, this is gonna look like a shoulder, head, and if we come up and make another shoulder, well, you got yourself a head and shoulder pattern here. And we know that usually plays out to the downside. So yeah, Bitcoin might, you know, it might start climbing up in the next hour or two, and then we start selling off again. And I just don't like here on the 1 hour time frame the fact that we're still in the downtrend, right? Making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Been making lower highs since Sunday, so I don't like that either. Makes me think that we're going to make another lower high and another lower low. Charlie says, I don't see much potential in Bitcoin. Yeah, in the long term, I actually do. I just think we're going through our classic bear market with Bitcoin. And it takes time, you know. It takes time for the bear market to play out. Usually about a year after the all-time high is when the bear market low comes in. And I'll just use a little bit of history, right? Bitcoin in 2017, December of 2017, topped out at 19K, and then it bottomed out in 2018, in December of 2018, at like $3 grand. Then in 2021, Bitcoin topped out November of 2021 at $69,000, and then it bottomed out a year later in November of 2022 at $15,000. So, you know, here we are. Bitcoin topped out in October of 2025 at 126K. I think it might be safe to say that Bitcoin is going to bottom out in October of 2026, or maybe a month or two before that, or after that. But somewhere in that range is where we might see Bitcoin start to bottom out and actually make a bear market low. And one of the reasons being is that we still got bulls. There's still people who are bullish on Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin's at $67,000. There's some people that think, you know, Bitcoin is done going down, and, you know, they like the idea of buying Bitcoin for like 40 or 50% below its all-time high. And I don't blame them. I mean, that sounds like a good idea. But I just know that Bitcoin's capable of going down like 80% during a bear market. And we seen that when it went from 69K to $15,000, you know, 4 years ago. If Bitcoin was to do something similar to that at 126K and we drop down 80%, let me see. Gotta drop it down even further than that. Oh man, I gotta zoom out a little more. If Bitcoin was to drop 80% from its all-time high of 126K, it would put it at 24K. I think it's safe to say that it might actually go down to 43K. We already talked about this, and that would be about a 66% drop. Okay, 66% drop. And I've also heard some people say 37K is a possibility. If it does go to 37K, that's about a 70% drop. And I still think that's possible too. So I think, you know, we still have further to go on Bitcoin. If I go into the 5-day time frame, which is almost like a weekly time frame, and if I show you the momentum here on the MACD indicator, momentum is still to the downside here. We had a little bit of buying pressure here in January, a little weak, you know, relief rally, and now selling pressure continuing to come push us down to lower prices here. Okay. And if I go into like the monthly time frame here, I mean, look at this. Yeah, the MACD crossover here in November of last year, selling pressure coming in, and there's no selling pressure dying down. You don't see any of that selling pressure dying down on the monthly time frame. And if history was to repeat itself, which we know Bitcoin does repeat itself, that's why they came up with the 4-year cycle, because it seems to work like a charm, you know. But yeah, we saw, you know, selling pressure start coming in here in 2021, going into 2022, and then the selling pressure didn't actually start dying down until October 2022. But Bitcoin still continued dropping down in price in November 2022. Even though selling pressure was dying down, we still saw Bitcoin drop down in price compared to what it was in September, when the selling pressure actually peaked out on the monthly time frame. So even if we were to peak out right now and start seeing selling pressure die down on the monthly time frame, where you get these pink candles here, the price of Bitcoin could still drag its butt down to lower prices as we get those light pink candles showing up on the monthly time frame. But right now, you don't even have light pink. There is no selling pressure dying down on the monthly time frame. So the larger time frames are saying Bitcoin is going to be in for a hurting. It's still hurting right now on Bitcoin. So there you go. Oh man, I hate to end off on a bad note like that. But guys, I mean, I gotta be truthful and honest with you, or else you guys wouldn't actually take my word for anything if I wasn't being honest with you. And right now, I just don't think, you know, Bitcoin is looking good at these prices. I think when we go down to lower prices, there might be a different story being told here on the charts. But right now, the charts are saying that Bitcoin wants to go down, not up. And it might temporarily go up a little bit. You might get relief rallies, you might get oversold bounces, or dead cat bounces, as some people call it. But I think the selling is just too strong right now for Bitcoin and crypto. Oh, we see Lorraine show up in the chat. Good to see you, Lorraine. Charlie says, do I know about SMCI? I think I know of MSCI. But SMCI, is that a semiconductor ETF or something like that? And man, I was just about to end the live stream, and then Lorraine shows up. Lorraine, you're gonna have to rewatch the replay on the live stream on YouTube here, because I was about to call it a night here. But let's see, Lorraine, can you get us up to 1,000 likes here? We're at 887. Let's see if we can get up to 1,000. Super microcomputer. I think I might have heard of that. But Charlie, I was also planning on ending the live stream here too. And Charlie, you can actually ask me about super microcomputer here on the Discord. If you go on to my TikTok page here, you click on the link in the bio, the link tree, which will take you over to the link tree, which will then take you to where you can join the Meet Damien server. It's free to join on the Discord server here. and then you'll see my Discord here, and then you can come talk about super microcomputer with the other traders and investors here. You'll also see when I go live. You can click on the link here to watch the live stream all over again. But yeah, this is where we talk about, you know, anything and everything here, but mainly crypto and stocks. So if you want to talk about your stock plays here, you can come on to this Discord, and we can. This is a way you can keep in touch and talk to me when I'm not live streaming, right? But yeah, you see, like, you know, here's me talking about the unemployment and jobs report, and then I did get into I do trade oil here on Coinbase Exchange, and you can see I did a little trade here where I did like 4 contracts of oil. I long oil at $63 and up like $96 on that trade right there. So that's one of my long-term swing trades here. You know, I'm trying to see. I'm anticipating prices to go up if war breaks out in the Middle East. So yeah. And also, we did get a good jobs report, so people do have jobs to go to, and they have to drive to work, so that's going to cause the price of oil to go up a little bit as well, in my opinion. But yeah, we talk about commodities, we talk about gold and silver, we talk about stocks and crypto. Maybe I'll make a stock-specific channel here, but we talk about everything on the general channel here. And I think you should come join us. Come join the Meet Damien community here. Okay? But if you are trading gold and silver, interested in doing that, WEEX Exchange right here has 0 fees, right? You're not going to get charged any money for trading gold and silver on WEEX Exchange. You might want to check out WEEX here, okay? And if you want to check out WEEX, right? If you go back to that link tree, you get the link here to join WEEX. And there's also one here for MEXC as well. You can trade gold and silver on MEXC. I think MEXC is also free to trade gold and silver, but MEXC is a little bit tricky because if you're in America or Canada, you might have to use a VPN to use their exchange. But on WEEX, one of the things I like about WEEX is you don't need a VPN to start trading on WEEX. All you need is an email address to get started with them. And if you do click on that link, you'll see this show up where you can come join Meet Damien on WEEX, and you'll get all the bonuses that are exclusive to my community here. And just, yeah. There's a bunch of bonuses that they got. There's $1,000 bonus for 40 lucky winners right there. Part of it. Well, they still doing a Christmas promotion here, but yeah, you could probably get yourself involved there. And make sure you got the referral code in there, XVDP, or else I don't get the referral bonus for all that hard work that I just put in. And they also got here where you deposit $100, you get $50 back as a gift back to you for starting up an account here on WEEX. Okay, so you might want to check that out, especially if you're into trading gold and silver. They got that here on WEEX. Alrighty, I see Lorraine just sent me some gifts here. Thank you, Lorraine, for sending me a whole bunch of gifts here. Roses. You sent me a white rose, a wink wink, a fluffy heart, glow stick. Appreciate that, Lorraine. Alright. Is it backed? Yeah, they do have I mean, you would have to dig through the WEEX website here, but they are backed up. Let me see if I go here to see. I gotta figure out where this thing is, but click on promotions. No, they do have like reserves that are backed up. So if something does happen to the exchange, they won't go under like that. They actually have and I gotta dig into the website. Maybe I click on here. Well, no, they got the $30,000 bonus here if you want to do that. No, can I just click exit? I just want to go show you guys. You're asking about are they backed up, and they do have reserves here. But let me see if I can find this. The protection fund. Okay, so this is what they got here. 1,000 Bitcoin, all right, the protection fund. All right, so it says right here, the WEEX protection fund, your security, our priority. They have 1,000 Bitcoins, okay, to protect themselves as part of their Bitcoin reserve and keeping their platform secure, okay. So there you go. And you can look up, you know, these FAQ questions here, frequently asked questions about the protection fund on your own time. But yeah, good question. I don't really get that question too often, but they do have a way to protect you and protect themselves in case something bad does happen here in crypto. Okay, because you probably have heard of exchanges getting hacked, and they do have a way to keep themselves afloat here. Laureen says, Charlie, send a message to Damien and he'll get you. Best to do it right. Yeah, so Charlie, go ahead and follow me here on TikTok and then send me a message and I'll send you the link to join the Discord. It should be working if you go on to Linktree here. That link should be working. But I'll double check it on my own time, make sure it is working. But you can also message me on TikTok and I'll be able to send you the link. Okay? You're welcome, buddy. All right. Guys, that's going to be it for this live stream. I think we had a pretty good live stream. I'll try to do a live again tomorrow, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time is when I usually go live. So be on the lookout for my next live stream, guys. And good luck trading in whatever asset you get into. And I see Bitcoin is climbing up. I might have to add to my short because I think Bitcoin might be going down later on tonight, going into tomorrow. But I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong, and that's why I use stop losses, okay? So, yeah, I am interested in probably shorting Bitcoin if we continue going up to like 68K here, okay? All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow, and you guys have to ask me how my short went. Try to hold me accountable here on my my day trades here. But yeah, guys, that's it for today. I will see you tomorrow. Take care.